Hi guys, and welcome to first person shooter tutorial, and let me show you guys how this works. Here we have some alien just hanging around the neighborhood. We're gonna take that one down. Let's take this one. And we have two, and let's see, there's one more there. Let's run towards him before he gets away. There we go. And that's it. We've just made the neighborhood save. So what I'm going to do now, guys, is I'm going to take you guys straight into Unity development environment, and we put one of these brilliant tutorial together. So let's do that now, guys. Okay guys, let's start a new first person shooter tutorial. I'm just going to call this one FPS first, and right here, as you can see, the template I'm using is 3D core. So let's click on create. There we go. It's now coming up. Okay guys, now that the development environment is ready, I need some assets. So I'm going to go straight into Windows here, and let's select package manager, and I'm going to change this here. You see where we have package in project, I'm going to drop it down, select my assets, because I have some of those assets before on my system. So in here, I'm going to, first of all, let's search for grass flower. There we go. And right here are the result of the grass flower. The one I need is this very one. It's about 55.15 megabytes. So I'm going to click on import, and then click on import again. There we go. Alright, that is the grass flower there. And the other asset that I'm going to need, that would be the tree 9. It's actually called realistic tree 9. Let's come in here and just see if that's going to show up. There we go. We need the realistic tree 9. There we go. That is it right there. Okay, it's coming up now. It's about 15.45 megabytes. So click on import and import again. And that is the realistic tree 9. There we go. We now have it on the system. The folder is called tree 9. That is it right there. Now let's drop this down. You see, with the grass flower, just click on the grass flower and go straight to the demo folder here, and in here we have grass flower demo. So if I double click on that, what I want it to do is to populate the screen for me. So let's double click on it, and there we go. It's coming up now. That is the grass flower. If I run it now, this is what you guys will see. It's just a terrain with grass on it. You can always create yours, but this makes life easy. Okay, that is it right there. Let's come in here and just increase let's change the play to maximize and run it again. And now it's coming up. There we go. Right there. Okay, that's how it's looking. It looks very beautiful. So let's end that. Now, I'm not going to add the tree straight away because I want to add some cabin. So let's go back into Windows and look for something to do with maybe old house or something like that. I'll go straight to the package manager again, and all I'm looking for in here is old house. Let's say old house, something like that. And right there, guys, that is the old house. So I'm going to import that as well. It's about 48 megabytes, and click on import. Old house is now in my system. Strange enough, the folder is called new. Let's close this for now. Double click on that and house. Okay, that is the old house. So what we want to do now is to at least, first of all, I'm going to move this game object pad, just drop it right there. So I want to look for where to hang the houses. So I want the houses to be somewhere here. So let's go into projects. That's the house, and just dump it somewhere here. So move it down a little bit. There, let's see how it's positioned. Okay, it's not well positioned. Alright. So I'm going to leave it here and just hold on to the control. Press, first of all, let's increase the size to something. Let's make it about 4 by 4 by 4. There we go, that's the old house. And I'm going to just hold on to the control and click and drag. Just Control D and just create a duplicate. Okay, I'm going to create more duplicate of those old houses. Control D again. There. Alright, this is how it's looking now. So I'm going to select the 3 houses on the screen. I just want to see if I can put, yeah, there we go. So those are the houses. That's how it's looking now. Very good. Alright, I'm going to do one thing for these houses, because I need to be able to see the doors. I'm going to make that about, let's see, 180. What 180 we give? No. Let's undo that and make it maybe 90 and see. No, I don't want 90. Okay, that's 270. So let's make all of them 270. So I can see the doors and so on. That is me now changing the rotation of all those houses. And it looks like we also need to just move it down a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, not too bad. So just press Ctrl D and duplicate those houses again. There we go. Yeah, that's cool. Now we need to do one more thing. I'm going to add the trees. We may have to then clear the trees from the old houses, but before then, supposing I add my first person gun. Okay, before we do any other thing, let me add a gun first. So I'm going to go back to my package manager, and that's the gun I intend to add. It's called a scientific gun light. So let's import that straight in. Click on import and click on import again, and it should be on the system now. That is it right there. So I'm going to just minimize this for now. Just close that. Now double click on the scientific and gun light. Double click on the prefab, and inside the gun, let's grab hold of one. I'm going to grab hold of this. Just dump it somewhere there. So small we can't even see it. I'm going to change it to about 20 by 20 by 20. Okay, let's see. Can we see? That's it right there. Kind of like lying down the grass. So that's the gun for the sniper. If I run it now, let's see how it's going to look like. So this, you guys won't be able to see the sniper because this is first person shooter. So let's see how that's going to look like. Unfortunately, we cannot see the gun. So let me reposition everything properly. So let's see if we can. Alright, let's come in here and just, instead of 59, I'm going to make it, let's say, go for about 42. And click on run. Just see how that's going to look like. Then we'll take it from there. Alright, that's how it's looking now. Okay, that's good. Let's stop that for now. Now, this very gun itself, I'm going to make it a child of the main camera. That is it right there as the child of the main camera. I'm going to now add some trees, then we take it from there. Let's come back in here. Oh, first of all, because this is a terrain, I'm going to select that. I already have the trees in there, so I might as well just populate it using the tree properties here. So click on the paint trees, and let's come in here. You see where we have edit tree, and right here tree prefab, drop it down. Need some trees. Let's come back in here. You might be able to see some here. There we go, those are the trees. Okay, so let's grab hold of this one, tree 9 there, and click on add, and that's the tree in there. I'm going to select this mass plate tree. Instead of 10,000, I'm going to make that about 5,000, and let's see how that's going to look like. Click on, there we go. The trees is kind of like everywhere, so we're going to have to get it away from some of the buildings. Let's click on run first and just see how that's going to look like. There we go, look at that. So exit out. Okay guys, what I'm trying to achieve now is to be able to pan around with my mouse and even move around the whole thing. So I'm going to exit out, and right in here inside the project area, right click on it. Let's select create and script, and that very script I'm going to call it mouse look. There. So click on open to open up the mouse look, and right in here, let's get rid of this, and I'm going to start by declaring some serialized field. So let's say serialize field, and that is going to be floats, and that should be, let's say, turn speed. Okay, let's make that about, say, 90 there. And I will also need another serialized feed for the head upper angle. So let's say serialized feed, I'm going to copy this. We want it for the head upper angle, and change this one to head upper angle, and we make that about 85. There we go. And another serialized field for head lower angle, so we can copy this and just paste that right underneath here. That's going to be for lower angle, and that is going to be, let's make that about minus 80 there, and that's it. Now the other thing is, let's create another float variable for the yaw rate. I'm going to make that 0, and another one for the pitch. Okay, and make that about 0 as well. 0F. The F stands for float. Now quintillion, that is going to be for the body start orientation and head start orientation. So let's say quaternium, and that's for the body. Start orientation. And the next one is going to be for the head start orientation. Paste that in there and just change this to head. Right. And finally, let's say transform, and that's going to be just the head. Okay, now in my start function here, I'm going to say head. That one is going to be equals get component, and the component is going to be in children. That's going to be the camera. Yeah, camera, enter parenthesis dot transform. There. Okay, I'm now going to get another, let's say, body start orientation, and that one is going to be equals transform. That's equals transform dot local rotation. And head start orientation as well. That's going to be equals head dot transform dot location. There. And that's, now let's use our cursor. So here we down say the cursor dot lock, that will be state, and that's going to be equals cursor lock mode dot lock. That should be locked here. And we also want the cursor to be invisible, so let's say cursor dot invisible here, so that no one will see the dots visible. That is going to be equals false. There we go. Alright, that is when the system starts. Okay, for the update we need to put together the following. So I'm going to first of all declare a variable, local variable. I'll call that, and then I'm going to say input dot get access, and that is going to be, because I'm using the mouse, I'm going to say is mouse X. So let's get a smooth movement by saying multiply that by time dot delta time, and we then multiply that by the turn speed. Right, and we also need to take care of another one for the vertical. So I'm going to copy this for the vertical movement, paste that in there. For the vertical movement, that will be Y, and the axis is Y, and just change this to vertical. Alright, so that is also taken care of. Now the yaw would be the horizontal and the vertical. So let's come down here and just say yaw, that is going to be plus equals horizontal and the pitch That's going to be plus equals vertical. Nice. So let's say pitch itself, that is going to be equals math f dot climb, and that is going to be climbing on the pitch, and that will be for the head lower angle. So copy that and we just paste that it here. I also need for the head upper angle as well. Just change this to upper. There we go. Enter semicolon in there. Now we now need to declare another variable for the body rotation and the head rotation. Let's see, come right down here and just say variable body, let's say rotation, that is going to be equals quaternion angle, quaternion dot angle asset, and that is going to be your comma vector 3 dots up. Yeah. Then for the head, copy all of this and just change that to head rotation. Head rotation, that's going to be quaternion angle axis. Then this will become the pitch, and that is going to be right instead of up. Okay, and finally we then need to say transform dot location dot local rotation, and that is going to be equals body rotation, and we multiply that by the body starts orientation. That's fine. So we need to do the same thing, repeat the same thing for the head rotation. We'll come down here and just say head dots local, local rotation, and that's equals, there we go, right. Okay, so that is for the updates. Let me show you guys the lines of codes again. Take it from the top. Those are the variables that are declared. Okay, now I'm going to bring it down. There we go. Alright, I'm going to go straight to the, save that, let's go straight to the editor now. I'll minimize that and right here. And I will now attach these lines of code to the camera. Make sure the camera is selected, drag the code and just drop it there. And now let me try it and see how that's going to look like. Let's see, it's coming up now. I should be able to pan around with the mouse. You see that, guys? It looks maybe a bit too fast. I may have to change that to fixed update, I don't know. But it looks alright now anyway. Okay, you see this weapon? I'm going to add a raycast to that. So let's exit out there, and I will come right in here, select the gun, that's the gun there, right click on it and let's select UI. Then we'll go up here, you see where we have image, click on image, Right, and that is the image that I'm going to use to create the UI, that I'm going to use to create the raycast. Really, that is it right there. But I'm going to now come in here. You see, that's the width. I'm going to change that to about 20, and the height, let's change it to about 20. Okay, you can see it is rectangle. Now let's change it to something circular. So click on that, and maybe I should settle for this. Yeah, for now let's just settle for that. Okay, if you can see it's in a circular form, so let's run it. So that would be the raycast that kind of like point onto the enemy or the alien. So let's see how that's gonna work. Look at it right underneath here. Can you guys see it? That's it. You see, I think it's a little bit slow. We can always maybe take it up a little bit, select it, and here I want to make it about 20. That seems to be too high though. I don't know. If it's not good enough, I just change it. Let's run it and see. Oh, where is it now? Okay, that's it right there. Okay, so I'm going to exit out now and just click on that. We also need to put together some lines of code for the movement so that we can move up and down. Now that is my raycast taken care of. Maybe I should even increase that a little bit to about 30, and because it's not that pronounced, what I've just done is, you see where we have a source image, I'm going to try that out. That's the source image. Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, that's the raycast. Now it seems a bit, you guys should be able to see it much better. Let's just see how that's gonna look like. Yeah, that is it. Look at it. You see that? Okay, I'm just gonna leave it like that for now. If I have to do any changes, I will do. Okay, now let's exit out, and I'm going to select the camera again, and that very camera I now want to add character controller on it. We do need a character controller because we intend to be able to move around. Now let's right click inside the project area again and click on create. We want to select C# and just give that a name. I'm going to call it movement. That is a movement right there. Click on open. Once it's opened, the next thing I want to do now is to declare a serialized field that I'm going to call move speed. Let's see that. Okay, I'm going to go in here and just copy. Let's copy this serialized field. Come right in here, paste that up here. Delete that very comment, paste, and I will call it move speed. Move speed, we make that about, let's say, it's going to be about 6, or yeah, 6 we do for now. We can always change that. That is one. And I would also need another one that I will call the jump speed. And paste that underneath there, then that will be jump. Or we can call it jump height. Okay, height. Okay, so let's say we'll be to jump only about 2. And what about gravity? Let's add gravity on it. Serialized field, we say gravity, and we'll make that about maybe 20. All right. And what about the range? That will be the degree to which we can control our movement. while we are in the air. So let's say we come down here and just say range, and that is going to be from 0 to 10, comma, and we enter the serialize field in there. Serialize field is going to be in air control. Let's say air control, and that's going to be about 5. Yeah, 5 we do. Okay, so get rid of this and get rid of this. Alright, looking good so far. Alright, the next thing I want to do now is to create a vector. This vector will be a movement direction. Okay, our current movement direction. Okay, if we are to be on the ground, let's come in here and just say vector 3. That's a movement direction. So it's going to be equals vector 3 dot, that is 0. So the whole idea for this is if we are to be on the ground, we have total control over it, or you can say direct control over it. Okay, let's put together a cache reference to the character controller. So we say character controller. No. Character controller, that will be called control. No, let's just call it control. There. And that is that. So we then come in here and say control, or controller, that will be equals get component and that's going to be character control, enter parenthesis there. Right, so the next thing we now want to do, so when the system starts, this was going to happen. The controller will take over of the character controller. So let's come right in here and then create, we call that a fixed update. So that's a fixed update. So with the fixed update, what we're doing there is we do our movement in a logical order in the fixed update so that our movement can happen at the same time. Okay, so let's say variable input, that's going to be equals new vector 3, and the new vector 3 is going to take in the following. So let's go ahead and say input dot get access, and that the first one is going to be horizontal. The horizontal is an inbuilt variable that you guys can use at any time, and the next one is going to be the vertical one. So let's say the horizontal is going to be, no, the horizontal is there. Then we now need the y-axis to be 0 because it cannot move vertically. Then we now have another input get access, that would be for the vertical. So I can paste that right underneath here. Input.get access, I'm going to call that vertical, vertical. Yeah, that is that, and we can just close that. There. These two inbuilt variable, if you guys go straight into our editor, you should be able to see them here. If you go into edit and select project setting, go into input manager, drop down the axis, that is it, horizontal and the vertical. Okay, those are the input variable, the inbuilt variable that I'm using. Alright, okay, I will now multiply the speed by our desired movement speed. So in there we just say input multiply equals move speed. Okay, now let's use an if statement. No, before that, let's say input, that will be equals transform dot transform direction and that will be input. Now using an if statement, we can say if controller dot is grounded. So in this case, if the controller is grounded, that is if the controller is at the bottommost. Okay, we then want this, we want the movement direction. So come in here, let's say enter curly braces there, and we say movement direction, that will be equals input there. Now if the movement direction dots, let's say if input dot get the button, and if that happens to be jump, then what do we want the system to do? We also want the input that get direction as no, that will be movement direction dot y, because it's moving up, that will be math f dot, that will be square root 2 multiplied by the gravity, so that'll take it up. Multiply that by the jump height. Jump height is somewhere up here. Yeah, there we go, it's just 2. So that should give us the jump that we need. The system will jump up officially. Okay, else we want the following. Else the movement direction, that would be 0. Very good, the system has told me what to put and I'm just going to accept that. That is good. Else, another else if. So we have one, another else. Else input dot y, that will be equals direction, move direction y equals move direction y there. Then move direction, that's equals vector 3 dot left move direction comma input comma, direct control, air control. That should be the air control. Air control. And we'll multiply that by time dot delta time. Time dot delta time. And enter parentheses there. Enter semicolon. Okay. That is taken care of. Next, we now want to say the move direction minus the gravity. So in this case, let's just grab hold of these. Move direction minus equals gravity. Multiply that by time delta time. Paste that there. Enter semicolon. And the controller in this case, let's say controller dot move direction. No, that would be move direction. Undo that. Undo. Move direction. And multiply that by time dot delta time. There we go. And that is all there is to that. So let's have a good look at these lines of codes. Okay, let's have a good look at the lines of code just to make sure it's all right. And there guys, I think that will be all for this. So I'm going to save it. I think it's all fine for now. Okay, let's go straight into the editor. Right, there's compiling. So far there's no error. There, I think there's no error. So let's come back in here. That is the movement code in there. Let's make sure it is attached to the main camera. No, I'm going to drag it and dump it here. Okay, it's attached to the main camera now. And those are the serialized fields that I declared earlier. Alright, let's run it and see. Oh, before that, let me just save this. File, save as mini FPS. Okay. Now, let's run it and see. Run. There we go. So we should be able to move around with my arrow key. Look at that. I can move forward. Anywhere I turn, I can move. That is very good, guys. You see that? Let's come back. You see the sniper is coming back. Alright, that's good. Now, the next thing we want to do now is to go into Mizimo and get hold of some enemies. Then we write one or two lines of code for this gun itself. So I'm going to stop that and let's go in here. There we go. We're in Mizimo now. Let's grab hold of this Vanguard. Let's animate something. Look at the way it looks. It looks mean and unfriendly. So let's go into animation and look for something. Maybe he's carrying a weapon, or let's see, simulating walking with a weapon. No, let's see something else. I think I'm going to settle for this very one. Yeah, that looks like he's about to attack. So let's download that very one. Hit on download, and I'm going to, you see where we have format, I'm going to change that to Collider, and I leave the rest set in the way they are. Let's click on download. Okay, once that one finished downloading, and I want another one that will simulate where he falls and dies. There. So let's look for, that is the download done. Let's look for something else, or let's just type in dead. Let's see. I think I may have to settle for this very one, so click on that and change yours. Very good. Yeah, I'm going to download that. Download collide as well with the texture, everything. So download. Okay, if you carefully look in here, you will see where that is firing and the next one is dead. So let's go into my folder. I can minimize this, I don't need it anymore, and I'll go straight into my download folder. Let's say window E to open that up. Download right here. There we go, that is it. Let's click on extract it all, and I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other one. Alright, that is fine. Close that. The next one, get it extracted as well. Extract. There we go. Now the two extracted folders there, 1 and 2. So I'm going to grab those and just dump it right in here. Those two folders, dump them here. And there we go. Now I have the two folders I'm going to be using. There they are. Okay, so let's click on the house so that I can see what I'm doing properly. So I'm now going to select the rifle, click on that, and that is the character right there. Select it. Once it's selected, the inspector opens up right here. So you now want to select rig, and you see where we have animation type. Click on that and select humanoid, then click on apply. There we go. Now the next thing is click on the animation, because you want the animation to continue. Remember, it was working, so it is gone. So click on that, and you need to click on apply as well. That is that taken care of. Okay, I might as well just enter my, or do the same thing for the next one before all of the other animation, because the animation for this is right here. That is it right there. Or we can just right click in here. I'm going to right click in here and create the animation right here. Let's come into create and let's select animation controller and just call that firing. There. Okay, double click on firing, and I'm going to click inside the firing range itself. Drag the animation, that is it right there, the triangle, drag, drop it here. So I've just created an animation of this now. So I can now close this one, go back into my asset. This is the dead. Okay, select the dead and change that to humanoid as well. Okay, we don't need this anymore. We'll finish with that. And that is, you see the dead one, change that to humanoid, click on apply, and let's come into anime, because I only want it to just collapse once. So I'm not going to, you see where we have a loop, I'm going to make sure that it's unchecked and click on apply. Alright, and in here right click, select create, and let's create animation controller, and call that dead. Yeah, double click on the dead symbol, and in here click on that. You see the animation, drag it and drop it right there. Okay, that takes care of that. You can collapse this now. Alright, close this. Okay, I'm now going to go back into my asset there. You see the firing rifle, double click on that. You now want this animation. Grab it and dump it right in here. That seems to be very huge. It's there anyway, so let's reduce the size to maybe 0.04 and let's see what's going to happen with that. We may have to reduce or increase it. Okay, that is it right there. That is the character there. That looks a little bit, let's see, maybe if I make that 0.1, that is huge. Okay, it's not going to do anything yet anyway because I haven't added the, okay, let's just add the animation. That's the animation. Click, drag and drop it right in here. You see where we have control? That is the animation that I created. When I say the animation, this is it right there. Okay, so close that. So I'll just drag it and drop it right in there. I'm just going to run it. I want to see how huge and how it looks. So click on run. So I'm just going to wait and see what's going to happen. Should be very close to the properties here, to the buildings. Let's walk towards there. Where are you hiding? It is there somewhere. Okay, I'm going to look for the coordinate of where the gun is so that I can bring it nearer to the gun. Or select the main camera. The main camera is 37:4:36, so select it. So it's going to be 37:4:36. Okay, that's him. There he goes, you see. Okay, so we can always follow. Okay, so I'm going to leave just this very one there because I will convert it to prefab later on. So that's that taken care of. Now let's take care of the dead guy. So as for the dead guy, let's come in here. That's the dead one, this very folder. Now drag it and drop it right there. I'm going to change that to 0.1, 0.1 and 0.1. So what I expect it to do is to fall, to collapse and die. So I'm going to grab the animation, dump it right there. So I just need to see this one collapse and die. So run. Alright, that's it on the floor. That is him right there. Yeah, he's dead. Okay. Alright, that's fine. Okay, now that we know that this dead guy can fall and die, I'm now going to convert it to a prefab. So that's the dead guy there. Notice this is the original one. I'm going to drag the dead one, the one in there, and convert it to prefab. Drop it right there and click on original prefab. There we go. That is it. If you notice, the original prefab does not have any symbol on it, so that is fine. That is just for the dead guy. I can now delete the dead alien, delete it from the system. But the other alien with the rifle is right there. That is it there. Okay, the dangerous one. Now, but we need to add some lines of code for that. So let's come back into our assets, and this is where I have all my codes. I have right click and let's go to create, and in there let's say scripts. Yeah, so the very first one, I'm going to call it area secured. That is for the dead guy. Once we put the alien down, then we can secure the area. There, area secured. Double click on area secured, or just click on open. There we go. It's coming up now. So for the area secured, all we need to do in there is I'm going to first of all just create a game object, and that game object, I'll call it alien down. There we go. Alien down. Now I'm going to create two functions. One of them is going to be called, this one is going to be called, let's say, invalid, and here I'm just going to enable to destroy the game object. So here, the next one, let's say private void on mouse down. Yep. The mouse on mouse down. Okay, on mouse down, we want the system to instantiate this, should be uppercase, instantiate the following: alien down, comma, transform dot position, comma, transform dot rotation. Okay, so we just need to now say destroy game object, and that is all to that. So I'm just going to grab this, copy that, paste it right in here, destroy game object. Okay, let's make sure that is saved, and I'm going to open up the editor again, come right in here, and I will now select that is it, the enemy itself. I will now drag my secure area or area secure, drag it and dump it right in here. Now the variable that was created, alien down, so we now need to add who is the alien that is down. Double click on the dead one, that's the dead one. Make sure you select this enemy with the rifle. Now drag the one that was instantiated and just dump it right. The one that was converted to prefab, and dump it right there. That is it. Just dump it right there. So anytime we shoot on this, that will automatically replace it. Okay, that's fine. So we can now populate this if we want. Just go back in here. No, before that, let's convert it to a prefab as well. So I'm going to click inside this own folder, grab the firing and dump it there to convert it to a prefab. And that is it. It's now a prefab. We can then grab hold of it and just paste it anywhere we want to for the first person shooter to look for and get him down. Alright, that is it there. So if I run it now, let's see how that will look like. Though nothing is going to happen yet. We need to be able to see that it's now working around. For now, we cannot do anything about it. Run that again. I mistakenly paused it from there we go, look at it. Okay, we can't do anything because we need some lines of code to actually fire at it. So let's exit out and start work with getting the guns to fire. So I'm going to right click in here and let's select scripts, and I'll change the name of that to gun. Now select gun and click on open. Let's declare the following variables that we're going to use. So right up here, the very first one, I'm going to call that public. That will be float, and this float I'm going to call it enemy down, or enemy destroy or something like that. And that is going to be, let's say it's going to be 12. Now the radius, so the radius I'm going to make that about 150, make that about 150. That's going to be a float as well. Radius, that is going to be 150F. So if the enemy is within that radius, yes, we can take the enemy down. Then the next thing is I'm going to create another public variable for the camera, and I'm just going to call that camera focus. There we go. And let's create more public variable. This one is going to be this figure. That would be to the enemy anyway. Then another public variable that's going to be called damage force. That's the amount of damage you can apply on the enemy. We make that about 50 as well. Then we have, let's create one for the particles. I'm going to call that public game object, or we can, let's go for public particle system. Particle system. And I'm going to just call that muzzle flash. There. Okay, I'm going to declare another one that I'm going to say public. That would be for audio. Audio source. And I will just call that explode. Yeah, let's say explosion. Right, there we go. Okay, all my variables are in place. Now let's do this. I'm not going to be using the start function. I'm going to go straight into the update function. Inside the update function, I'm going to say if input dot get button down, dot get button down, and the button that would be, let's use the built-in variable called fire1. There we go. That's for fire1. Enter curly braces. If that is pressed, that means fire1 means if you click on the left hand button. Okay, so in that case I want this explosion to play. Explosion dot play. There. And I also want my muzzle flash, this very one, I want it to play as well. Muzzle flash dot play. There we go. Let's make this lowercase, explosion lowercase, and this one lowercase as well. Okay, so we get that to play. And the other thing that I want to play will be another function that I'm going to declare in here, and I will call that function, I might as well just call it now, just say gunshot. Right, that's the function that I intend to put together in here. So I'm going to say void gunshot, this very one here. I might as well put the gunshot right above all of these. There we go. Okay, that function gunshot is right up there, so there. I'm going to evoke the use of a Raker's hit target. So let's say hit target, and using an if statement, if physics dot rakers, in that case we want the camera to get focus. So let's see, I call it camera focus. There we go. Oh look, let's change that to F. Camera focus. Grab that and I'll paste that right in here. So I'm going to ask it to dot transform dot position, comma. Now camera focus again, dot transform dot forward. So let's grab all of this, paste it here, and we just say dot forward, dot forward, comma out, and that is going to be target, comma the radius. Okay. Alright, now the next thing is, in that case we now want to fire. So I'm going to call the short fire function, which you guys haven't seen. This is it right here. Just take it from up here. So create another script called short fired, and that is it. The amount of life enemy down the variable and up to here. This way we destroy the object. So I'm going to come in here and just call that very short fired. So this is so short. It's in uppercase. Short fired. That is equals. I'm going to call that shooting, and that is going to be target dot transform dot gets component, and what component are we getting? That's going to be the function shot fired, and there we go. So that's taken care of. We're now going to use an if statement. So if shooting is not equals no, we want the following. We want shooting dot damage impact, and that's going to be the disfigure, the function disfigure. There we go. But if target dot rigid body not equals no, we want the following. Target dot rigid body, let's take all of these and just delete. Target dot rigid body dot add force, and that's going to be minus target dot normal, multiply that by damage force. There we go. Okay, that is that taken care of. Yeah, I'm going to save it first. Okay, save that on and let's just take it from there. Let's go straight to the editor. Let's see how that's going to work, then I'll take it from there. Alright, I'm going to grab click on the gun and scroll right down here. I will now drag the script and attach that to the gun right there. Let's come down. Yeah, that is it. Now, muzzle flash, we need that. Then here, explosion, that is for the audio. So what I'm going to do with the audio is I'm going to come up here. You see where we have hierarchy, drop that down, and we need audio source. Click on that audio source. I also need an audio in there. So let's grab hold of an audio here. This is it. Click, drag and drop. That's my audio there. So it's called explosion. And now you see the audio source created. Click, drag and drop it right in there. Okay. Alright, then if I select the gun, you see where I have the muzzle flash, and I want to drag the audio straight into there, the explosion. So that is taken care of. Now the next thing we want to take care of is it's not the muzzle flash, sorry. You see the audio? Actually grab hold of the audio source and dump it inside the audio source that was created. As for the muzzle flash, what we want to do is I'm going to come in here, let's right click in here and look for effects, and I'm going to select the particle system. That's the particle system that I've just selected, and that particle system, that's before I set it all up. Let's select that gun, and I'm going to drag the particle system straight in there. There we go. Alright, since I've dragged that in there, I actually want it to explode. Okay, I have the muzzle flash there. I'm going to need another variable there, but let's get this particle sorted first. Now let's come down here. You see the duration, I'm going to make that about 0.5, and here the start lifetime, let's say about 1, and the speed, I'm going to make the start speed 1 as well. So let's scroll down. I think there's loop. I really don't want it to loop. So scroll down. Right, let's come here and see emission. You see where we have bus. I'm going to just add 1 to that and make this enter 1 there. And what about the shape? Let's come down here. I'm going to change that to rectangle, and just scale, I'm going to make it 0 by 0 by 0 to give it one direction motion. Okay, so let's see, what else do I want? Do I want light on it? If I add light here, let's right click and see. That's light, point light. Yeah, there's point light there, so I might as well just select the light underneath here. Where's light? Okay, there's point light there. Let's look for any type here. Point light. Alright. Okay. For now, that's what we do for those settings. I now need that very particle to be directly pasted or placed where the gun is. So let's grab hold of the gun. It's somewhere here. I'm gonna need some effect on it. Yeah, that is the light. So I need the location of the gun. Then we just place everything near to it. Here, that's the gun. Move both of them to the nozzle of the gun, or to the barrel, whatever it's called. Okay, I'm going to try out this gun here. Yeah, and let's click on play. That is a bit too slow. Let's go back into start speed. I'm going to make that about 30. Now click on that. There we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, I'm going to leave it as that. Let's move it up a little bit. Okay, so that one is sorted. Now I'm going to go straight into my codes. Let's select that. That's the code here. And inside here, I'm going to declare the following variables. So that is going to be particle effect. So that's going to be a game object particle effect. So let's say public. Come right down here. Let's say public game object. Yeah. And I'll just call it particle effect. There. And come right down here, this particle effect, we now need to add it right inside the gunshot. So underneath here, using, let's say, game object that will be, we just call that clear object. And that's going to be equals instantiate and what is that? Particle effect, comma, target dot point, comma, quaternium dot look rotation. And that takes in parentheses, so that's going to be target dot normal. There we go. Now come right down here, and I'm going to then say destroy objects. So let's say destroy clear object. This one. Grab all of that, paste that in here. Comma 2F. There we go. Now save that and let's see. Okay, I'm gonna come up here. Let's make sure there is no error here. Save that. Let's go back into our, it's compiling. That's good. Almost there. Okay, we have an error, I think wrong spelling of quaternion. Let's come in here and just, that should have been IO. Right. Alright, let's save that. Save, minimize, start all over. Okay, and right here now we now need to assign some value here. First of all, let's see, you see where we have camera focus. I'm going to grab hold of the camera, dump it right there. And here, effects, I need some effect. I'm going to go straight into Windows. Let's go to Package Manager. I can grab hold of these 48 effects. I'm going to import that. Let's see. Okay, my system was playing. Let's try that again. Package Manager, and that's it, 48 import. Right, it's only 1.37 megabytes, so that shouldn't take that long. And click on import again. There we go. It's coming up now. Okay, and we also need to import the all sky free. That's it right there. I've already imported that. Okay, and if you want, you can also import whatever you want. Let's look for rock. Yeah, let's see if I can get hold of rock. I think this is it here, free rock. It's about 100 plus. Okay, I'm going to have to import that as well. Okay guys, now the rocks, so just make sure we go into the prefab in there, and we just need to add some rocks in there. Okay, just maybe one here, and just increase the size to about maybe 5 by 7 by 6, something like that. Alright, you can just spread the rock how you want it. Now that that is done, one other thing is, you see all these humanoid that you're looking at, let's go straight into the prefab, because they will not, even if you shoot them down, they will not fall. Nothing will happen, because we were supposed to add capsule collider. So I'm going to select this prefab, and let's go into add components here, and grab hold of, if I double click on it, so that I can just, that's it in there. So in there we need capsule collider. There we go, there. And you see edit collider, click on that and just drag it to cover it all up. See, we need to cover the whole body, else if we hit it with a gun or anything, nothing will happen. Okay, so I'm going to repeat the same thing for the other one. That's for the dead man. Okay, now let's look for the other one, firing rifle. So that's the prefab for that as well. Double click on that and add a capsule collider, edit it, that is it there. It's not showing that much. Just use it to cover it, else. Right there, that's it. So that is fine. Let's go back into our main project. Now what else is left? Select the gun itself and make sure we add our effects. Let's come in here. Inside this very effect, there's a script there that you guys should delete. It's called CC show all effects. I've already deleted it in here. So the effect that I want, make sure the gun is selected. I'm just going to drag one of those. I think I've added one before, but I'm going to drag one in there. The one I added is fireball. I'm going to drag any other one in there for you guys to see. Let's go for explosion, maybe explosion 9. There, just dump it in there just like that. Okay, now I'm going to kind of like save it. Let's try it around. Let's try it and see how that looks like. So click on run. Oh, let's see. Okay, yeah, you see it's taking that down. That's one of them on the floor. Okay. Okay, one thing is, if you guys notice, the sound actually played on awake, so we don't want that. I'm going to come back in here and let's select audio, this audio source, and let's scroll right down. You see where we have play on awake? Get rid of that. That shouldn't happen. Now I'm going to make sure that that is saved. Run, and let's see. So I should be able to blow them all up. Now no sound. You see there, one is down. There's one escaping. There's another one here. Go after him. That is how you create your own FPS controller in Unity using asset and skybox and so on. Yeah, talking about skybox, we need to change this to our skybox. So stop that from running. Let's come right in here, go straight to Windows, and I'm going to select rendering, lighting, come right in here, environment, select environment, then select this icon, and I'm going to select one of these. Maybe I should set two for this here. That's good enough for me. Yeah, that's fine. And that should take care of my skybox. Look at that. Beautiful. So let's run and see how that looks like. That is the explosion. It's just too much for me. So if you guys want, you can always reduce your own explosion or the effects. Now you see how that works. So with that, I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial. You can see one of the enemies down, and I believe the rest are down as well. So I'm going to call it the end of this tutorial, and you all have a nice day now. And bye for now. And please do subscribe to my channel, and you can also join to become a member of the channel. You all have a nice day now. Bye.